Welcome, adventurers. Tonight we journey into a world of danger, mystery, and magic. First, meet J.D. Tallproof as Diamund. Then there's Advina V as Althea. Ask SIO2 Puma brings Lucius. And Clarky steps in as Theodore. But no tale unfolds without the storyteller, our guide through peril and wonder. Give it up for Binks here, your dungeon master. Let the adventure begin!
Welcome to Dungeons and Donuts, Episode 1. Now, unfortunately, Ask SIO2 Puma had forgotten to turn on his mic for the recording anyway. We could hear him on the session, but the recording cannot be heard. So, with that being said, we've edited it in a way that it is still nice and flowing, but you won't be able to hear Ask SIO2 Puma. He rectifies this in the next episode, so please do listen in to the next episode next week. Cheers. The farmland of Faerun has been hit with a curse, making the soil infertile, the food's getting scarce, and as a consequence, expensive. The amulet of Alterrock is the only way to remove this curse. You must find it and lift this dreaded affliction. So, you start in a tavern called the Morning Angel.
I like taverns. I like alcohol.
It's located in the town of Peregrine Claw. You are tasked in transporting a wagon of produce to the neighbouring village, 3-day journey away. Now, you are all in this tavern, the Morning Angel, and you are all sat round a table. You don't know each other. You want to get to know each other. So why don't you all go around and introduce yourselves and tell us give us a description of what you are and a little bit into your backstory.
Althea Mellow. The name is derived from healer and also the marshmallow root. Therefore, Althea Mellow. Okay. I am a druid. I am 117 years old. Yeah, bitch, I'm that old. Don't you dare make a comment about it. I'm a young adult. Okay. I am not aggressive.
Who's next?
I'll be playing Theodore. He's a human pirate rogue.
Nice.
He's arrogant, self-centered, and very rich to boot, and doesn't really give a damn about anyone other than himself and the money he can make.
Okay, JD, what are you?
My name is Diamond. I am a half-elf rogue.
Did you say?
26, which is young adult age for a half-elf. I'll be a young adult for the next, 14 years.
What class were you, JD?
Rogue. I always tend to have a plan for what to do when things go wrong. I'm quite calm and calculated, but also quite indifferent. Never let my emotions control me or raise my voice or anything. I am very true on freedom and being charitable. So picture me as a D&D Robin Hood. I like stealing from the rich to aid the less fortunate.
Right, so with you guys all acquainted to each other, you sat around a table with a beer and whatnot, talking about what could possibly be, what could have possibly brought you here, and then suddenly a dwarf kicks down the tavern door. "You're right, you twats! It's me, Brim Lipley!" And you think to yourself, what the fuck is this? And he goes, "Right then, here's my adventurers. You've all come for me. You've come to take my shipment to the next village." You kind of look at each other and go, "What the fuck is going on? What?
Don't worry,
What?
I live near this guy. Just any torches that you have, just keep them hidden because they might get stolen.
So Brim Lipley is a dwarf, if you haven't gathered that already, from the definitely Faerun town of Birmingham. So he's going to entrust you with this shipment of his, because it's full of produce, and as produce is scarce, it is expensive. So he is entrusting you with this shipment. Now, what would you guys like to do? You are in this town of Peregrine Claw, and you have a 3-day journey ahead of you.
Oh, fun. Should we get some food and maybe some supplies around the table?
Wait, they're
having a
not
conversation?
cursed?
Was everyone
Wait.
just drinking at the same time? Hey, Mr. Dwarf, just hold fire for a second. When are we meant to be going adventuring? How much time do we have?
Oh, well, you've got from now until sundown to get out of here.
All right, Mr. Brummy Dwarf, when is now?
I would say it's about 12 o'clock, midday.
So we got a solid, 5-6 hours-ish before the shops close. I gotta finish some stuff up. I'm gonna go just wander around the city for a bit and keep my beer in hand. Just finish it while I'm walking around. Are there any shops nearby in this town?
Yes, so we have a clothing shop that doesn't seem to be doing very well. They kind of went for a bit of a niche market, selling high-end leather goods. But, people are so skint because food is so scarce and expensive, so they're spending all of their money on the food. You have essentially the same as a corner shop that sells, your basic things, bits of food. There's obviously not a lot on the shelves. Again, food scarcity, but there's a lot of drinks. So you've got your wooden barrels of water, and you've got your wooden barrels of beer, and that's pretty much it. It's a small village. It's a small town, but you've essentially got clothing. The clothing store also sells shoes, as it's an all-in-one kind of thing, and you've got kind of like a boss man's corner shop.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna go for a wander to the clothing shop. See if I can get them to make me a nice, cool leather jacket.
Okay. Anyone else
I'd like
going
to,
anywhere?
I'd like to sort of cast an eye around the tavern, see if I can find someone who looks sort of relatively able-bodied, but looks like they need a couple of gold pieces in their pocket, if that makes sense.
So this town is full of older people. It's kind of one of those getaways near the seaside. It's full of old fogies. You don't really see anyone. You see possibly the bartender is a bit younger than most of them, but yeah, the kind of general consensus is that it's you and these other three delinquents that you have found yourself sitting next to.
Well, that being the case, then I basically just like to sort of walk over to the nearest person I can find, seeing that they're all sort of generally old and a bit decrepit. I'll just make the best of a bad situation and just walk over to the nearest person at the nearest table, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries. So you walk over to this table, and it's got one singular man sat there with a beard as long as you, just a nice grey beard, and his hair's all wispy, and he's got a pipe. Now, in Faerun, smoking in pubs has not been banned because, it's Faerun. And so you walk over to him, and he kind of looks at you, and it kind of suspiciously, and he goes, yes, well, what do you want?
Hello, my friend. That terribly unkempt-looking dwarf over the way there, tasked with moving produce. I can't be doing such things. But if I can find someone such as yourself who looks extremely strong, would you care to do the job for and/or with me? Maybe earn a couple of coin.
Well, the old timer, he's done quite a lot of moving stuff, and you kind of gather that when you look into his eyes, when you ask this question, you kind of see a brief flicker of, oh, I used to do that, but then he kind of sinks back into his chair and he goes, well, that is a grand question, but unfortunately my hip isn't so good. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass on this occasion.
Of course you are, my friend. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to turn back to the table, just sort of pop myself back at the table and say, well, I'm stuck with you people, I suppose. Just take a swig.
Theodore's so far up his own arse.
How simultaneously is this happening to me wandering to a shop? Have I left the pub yet to go to that shop?
You are wandering yet.
Okay, sweet. I'm not here then.
I will warn everyone, I did rebuild Theodore for this, and the man is an arsehole.
Lovely. That makes my life amazing. Any others? Any other people want to contribute? So the bartender looks at you, kind of like, what a fucking dweeb. What a weed. I've had a look at your character's image on Google, and it looks fucking thin as fuck. No muscle mass at all. So the bartender looks at you and is kind of like, how are you alive? So he kind of goes, well, I don't have, I've got beer, if you would like any beer. Or I have water. It's in the dog bowl down there. But we have beer, or beer. So the one thing that I forgot to lay down is you guys don't have much gold. You have about 10 gold pieces each.
So we don't use the D&D Beyond amount of money. Okay.
So
Let me change my inventory here. Just 10
I'm
gold
gonna
pieces.
I chose 50 instead of the Insta packet. I should have.
Does the same apply to equipment? Do we just have basic starting, nothing common or rare?
basic, yeah. Basic rations. So the kind of monetary system in this game, because I can't be asked to do pence, is all gold, no silver, no copper. So you have just only got gold. So actually, no, fuck it. I'll bump you up to 15 gold. Is it Lucis? Sweet. Lucis is up at the bar, and the bartender's like, yeah, we got beer. So you kind of look a little bit dishevelled because, you know, you're classy, you like a cocktail, and you don't think that you can really stomach another beer because it will mess with your frail complexion. So you kind of walk back to your table and you just kind of like slump down, having a little bit of a toddler's drop because, you know, we don't have any potions. It's one of those old-timey bars that doesn't have potions, they just have beer. Let's move on to Althea. What are you doing?
I look around me. I just sigh at the sight of these men and I flat out ignore the comments of these rogues.
I didn't say anything. I just up and left.
Right, okay, so we're gonna...
As I ignore them, I look into my backpack and I see... What do I see?
Basic rations.
Just the rations, is that it?
Yeah. You've got enough food for 3 days. So this means that you don't really have to go. It means you don't really have to go to a shop to buy food. You have enough rations for your journey if the journey goes well. So yeah, you have your basic tools and you have your basic food rations, and you have 15 gold. That is all that is in your pack.
Sad. I sigh. Jesus
So
Christ.
we're going to smash cut over to Diamond, or Diamond as I put down, and you've arrived at the clothing shop.
Ooh,
and
swanky.
you walk in, and you know how they go, have a little bell at the top, and this shopkeep comes from the back, and he's like, oh, a customer! I haven't seen a customer in years. And
hello, sir.
And he's ever so gracious that you've come in. And he's like, what would you like? I've got this and I've got that, and he's so overwhelmed to see that someone has actually stepped foot into his shop because he is on the verge of bankruptcy.
Man, I am blessed to be here. You've got so much nice, fine clothes here.
Well, thank you.
I was wondering, how much would a nice white leather jacket set me back? Just something to keep me warm on the road.
Well, I've got about 10. I think I could let that go for 10 gold pieces.
Okay, 10 gold pieces. Is there anything you can offer me? You know, I'm the first customer you've seen in years. Maybe I can...
Well, yes, of course. Well, I think I could possibly throw in some gloves. They were bought in by a wizard, and they're glowing, but I'm not too sure what they are. So
shiny.
So these gloves are kind of like tattered. They have been heavily used, but you cannot. In fact, can you roll me a Arcana check, please?
Oh man, that's Arcana's based on intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes. What did you roll on that?
That was a 16.
Is that
somehow
with your modifier?
Yes.
Yeah, so 16.
Which is 0, by the way.
So you have have a look at these gloves, and you can see that there is indeed some magical glowing essence about it. So you can't quite detect what the magic is. You can't, it could possibly be gloves of accuracy or something like that, but you can't quite tell what it is. All you know is that it is heavily, heavily enchanted.
Okay. I will take that, good sir, and hopefully that will, feed your shop or keep business running for a bit. I know these small designer shops don't get much business nowadays, so I'm happy to oblige. And thank you for the gloves. You got to seek fair deal, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm so glad that you have decided to come into my shop, and I will be forever grateful that you've made this purchase from me.
Well, sir, you have made a very friend today, and a very stylish-looking one at that.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. So the shopkeep bids you a farewell with a massive smile on his face and 10 gold coins heavier, and you walk away with a nice white leather top and some enchanted gloves.
Okay, I would love to know what bonuses these gloves do, but I kind of got to meet everyone else. I did just kind of walk off and go, "Hey, I'm Diamond. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go look for clothes." So I'm gonna head back to the bar.
So you walk back to the bar, and you see all the 3 reprobates there, and so you kind of pull up a chair, and you go, "Hi, I'm Diamond. I'm sorry, I just needed to go and look a bit more stylish."
I mean, I'm not too concerned by fashion, but you got to stand out somehow, right?
And as you sit down, Theodore is looking at you with a bit of kind of like a glint in his eyes, saying like, how fucking dare you look better than me?
As he sits down, I look at him. I'm like, a rogue? Isn't he supposed to be sneaky? Why the fuck is he wearing something white and bright? And I sigh to myself, men.
I don't want to stand out.
Hold on, let me just put that down.
If I could give a little bit more context to Theodore's character, would that be alright?
Sorry?
I was just going to say, if I could give a little bit more context for Theodore's character, would that be alright in terms of the...
Yeah, go for it, sound.
It's more in terms of, so he's a pirate by trade, in inverted commas. So basically everything he's wearing, he has stolen from just whoever he's found. And he considers it finery. So he's dressed in what he considers his finery. So I think he'd more look at Diamond with a look as if to say, "You bought that?"
Oh, right, I've got you. Hold on, I'm just going to write this down. Theodore looks down on
Good
everyone.
fashion sense.
Good fashion
I was kidding.
sense. It's in the book. It's law now. So you are all well acquainted at this point. A couple of hours have gone past, and you are kind of like, the sun's starting to go down, and you think, you know what, I'd quite like to go to bed now. We'll pick this up in the morning. So you find in the village that you are that you find a hotel,
An inn. Oh.
an inn, yes, and it is charging 5 gold pieces a night. You can either go to the hotel and pay 5 gold pieces each, or you can go to the woods and set up camp. You do have a tent between you that can fit 4.
Okay, if you guys want to go sleep in a hotel and meet up with you later, I quite fancy a night in the woods.
I'm a druid. I like nature.
Okay, cool. Theodore, what are you up to? You want to go to a hotel? Just chill by yourself? Away from
In.
me?
I'd quite like to spend a night in an actual bed, actually. I think Theodore was basically trying to sneak into the hotel without paying.
Okay, so as the 3 of you go off into the woods, Theodore goes and has a look around this hotel. Can you roll me a...
Oh, God.
Could you roll me a... I don't... What would be the check?
Perception?
Yeah,
Perception check. Yes,
Stealth?
roll me a perception check, please.
Perception. Blimey. Okay, bear with.
I feel like walking noises of people walking into the woods.
Well, my friends, we have our first natural 1 of the session.
Ouch.
Do you have any abilities like lucky or anything like that?
I do not.
Right. Okay. So you have a look at this. Hotel, and you think to yourself, fuck it, I'm going to spend a night in the woods. There is no solid way in that I can sneak in. I'm going to have to go into the woods and camp with my campmates.
Fair
Which is
enough.
Sucker! No, I'm sorry.
unfortunate. So you kind of run back up to the group that's currently trudging their way through up to the woods, and
Man, I'm glad I didn't buy new shoes.
indeed, and you're kind of like out of breath, and the three are kind of inquisitive as to why you've run back up to them.
You think
It looked extremely run down. I can't be staying in a place that probably has bed bugs and probably houses orcs and such things.
As I look
mean-
at Theodore, I go like, well, I'm not sharing my tent with you. And I continue on.
So I'm just gonna add to Theodore's sheet is a dick.
okay, so maybe run down, but not probably still better than the woods, but sure.
So
Anywho.
you all kind of on your way to the woods. You just kind of like, I'm so tired. Let's just get this tent set up and everything else, and you fall asleep. You get to your camp, and you've been given the address of where this cart is of produce, so that's safe and sound. You don't have to worry about that until tomorrow morning. So what you're now round in the camp. What are you going straight to bed, or are you going to make dinner, or are you going to go straight? Yeah, you're going to go straight to sleep.
I'm gonna sit by the fire and maybe lean over to Lucius real quick and be like, hey, I don't know how magic works that much, but do you have any can we play any pranks on Mr. Grumpy Gills over here? I don't know much about magic. I just go and rob stuff and hope that it doesn't have magic on it.
So what would you have as kind of like? Do you have any spell slots? Any spells? I'm gonna heal you.
What about
Go ahead.
thaumaturgy? Can you make fart noises in his ears?
You can if you want. Fuck's sake. But we will wait for that. Althea, what are you doing?
I sit down by the fire and consider, am I hungry?
Are you hungry?
That's the question.
Give yourself a roll. Yeah, have a d20. If it's 11 and above, you're hungry. If it's 10 and below, then you're not hungry.
Okay. Let's do
Okay.
some team bonding so Theodore thinks we're all friendly.
Wait, what type
Althea,
of
you hungry? Do
a
you want some dinner?
D20?
Just a d20. You don't have to do any kind of you don't have to do any checks.
It's an 18.
So you are. Did I say hungry for 11 and above? Yes. So you are hungry.
Wait, am I hungry or am I not hungry? Okay.
You are hungry. Yes. Yes, you are. You could really do with a nice hearty meal,
Nice.
aka
hearty
one
meal.
of your rations.
Hey, Althea, do you want to help me cook? Team bonding and stuff. I'll make a snack with you. I'm not that hungry, but I might as well have a snacky before go bed.
Theodore's looking at you like,
Wait, we are
I
in
know
the
what the fuck is up. I know what you're doing.
wait.
No,
We are in the
man.
woods, right? Can we not find something to eat
You
outside of?
yes.
I mean-
so there are plenty of wild animals out there.
Herbs, druids.
Yeah. So, what would you like to do in that aspect?
I mean,
I wanna,
I could go try and sneak kill some deer or whatever, but I get the distinct feeling that you would not appreciate that.
I like food. I look around and see whether there's anything easy to eat, whether it's a small animal or like a mushroom or like any herbs, anything, so I can save my stupid rations that is not yummy at all. But now I'm in the woods and I might as well find something yummy.
Okay. Can you roll me a perception check, please, Althea?
Is it again a D20? Just always
Yeah.
a D20? Okay, I have perception. You said right?
Yep.
A +5 on perception.
Ooh.
I rolled 4 +5 is a 9.
So you have a look around. You can kind of see, a couple of bits that might look edible, but you're not really. You can't see too much, and you kind of go and pick the stuff that you can see. It's enough for now, but you may feel a bit hungry in the morning. It depends how your body digests it, I guess. So yeah, you go and pick all the mushrooms and things that deserve to be in the bin. And mushrooms are horrible. No.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
have
you're
mushrooms.
excused. So don't have mushrooms. Anyway, so yeah, you go and pick your mushrooms and shit. So Theodore, what are you doing?
I think Theodore would probably just be sort of plonked by the fire, trying to keep himself warm, sort of
Okay.
weighing up his options,
Right.
wondering
Got you.
why he's even there at this point.
Okay, I've got you. So so Althea and Diamond, you both kind of Diamond, you put some of your rations into this frying pan, and Althea, you put your fucking hellspawn into the frying pan. And you kind of make a nice
mushrooms.
You kind of make a nice all-in-one, smash it into your face meal. You both feel satisfied.
That was pretty good. Good hunt on those mushrooms.
Yay, mushrooms.
You had better
Yeah.
ideas than me trying to kill an elk. That would have taken ages to roast on a fire.
Oh God, what have I started?
Insert a joke about there not being mushroom in the frying pan.
Right. So you.
I like
you-
this guy.
I've just dropped
You
my
don't
pen
call
on
off the Valmataggi parts.
Yeah.
He's a bit stoic, but he seems cool. He made a dad joke.
So the dungeon master takes 4 points of damage for cringing. So yeah, Theodore, have you thought about any food?
Well, the original plan, I think from Theodore's point of view, was basically going to be to try and nick something off one of the other party members. But seeing what they've gathered / what they actually have on them, I think he's probably going to turn his nose up at it and basically just go and make an attempt at foraging as best he can.
Okay, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Percepciones.
People hate mushrooms. Why?
This is going in dice jail. That would be another natural one.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Womp.
You can't find anything. You sit down by the fire and you feel really shit about life. You couldn't get into this hotel. You can't find any food. The food that people have found, it just looks absolutely disgusting to you. So you kind of feel like that you're gonna go to bed hungry.
Really? Why so glum, chum? You made dad jokes earlier. I thought you were chipper.
I can't be eating things from the floor. It's far below my station.
Mate, you have high standards.
Well, when you grow up in Waterdeep with the family ideas, you get used to a certain style.
Alright, you do you.
From Waterdeep. Thank you for that information, Nez. So you kind of all turn in for the night into your shared tent.
I don't need sleep, according to D&D Beyond. I don't need sleep.
Oh,
Magic
sure. Well,
comfort
you only need
makes
to
sleep.
trance, don't you?
What's that? Sorry.
Yeah, I need to be in a trance-like meditation during which you retain consciousness because I don't sleep.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay.
So
Well,
you
considering
sit...
we're in the woods, I'll go on fast watch if Theodore want to take one, just in case.
Right. Okay. So you do your things in the night. You do your kind of you. Did you say Diamond's taking first watch?
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna keep an eye out for you guys.
Althea, you do your deep trance bullshit.
Well, I'm still conscious. Like it's
Yeah,
Do you
but
make
you do-
noises while
aware.
you're in your deep trance?
it's like
Do you go
trance-like
om?
meditation during which you retain consciousness. So
I'm
That's a
saying, do you
shame.
say om?
I go and annoy the
how does
shit
it
out of
feel
everyone.
how does it feel not being able to sleep? I bet you're shattered.
Well, you
Some
don't
of the
need
weirdest
sleep,
snoring
so
I've
you
ever
don't
heard.
feel shattered.
Right. So
I mistake Althea snoring for some crickets around the woods.
crashing on. So Theodore and Lucis, you both go into this tent because, and you find it quite roomy because obviously two of them aren't there. So you kind of look at each other and go, I'm going to have this side, I'm going to have this side. And you both go for a sleep.
You hear me shout in the distance. Don't spoon too much, guys. Guys, whatever you're doing in there, we've only just met. Give it a minute.
Oh God! Sponsored by the vibrator. So whilst V is buzzing away, Theodore, you can't help but notice that it's really fucking annoying. So while she's in this deep trance state, you kind of want to just like push her away.
I'm so conscious, guys. I'm not in a deep trance.
Well, you are now.
Theodore doesn't know that.
Yeah. Shut up. Yeah, with a fucking vibrating.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Dungeons and Donuts. Big shout out to our adventurers, JD Tallproof, twitch.tv/JD Tallproof, AdvinaV, twitch.tv/AdvinaV, Ask SIO2 Puma, twitch.tv/AskSIO2 Puma, and Clarky, tiktok.com/@DriverClarky. And of course, our fearless dungeon master, Binks here, twitch.tv/Binks here. Our intro and outro music is Wizard Circus by Kevin MacLeod. And the voiceover magic is brought to life by Michael Corley, fiverr.com/Mr. Corley. Don't forget to tune in next week for more battles, chaos, and cream-filled crits on Dungeons and Donuts!